Welcome, everybody. I'm Lee Fisher, Lieutenant Governor of the State of Ohio and Director of the Ohio Department of Development. And it's my honor to be here today. In the landscape of American government, there is a very special position in each of our 50 states. The person who is the chief legal officer, the chief law enforcement officer, and the chief advocate and protector of the people's rights. And that's the special position of State Attorney General. I had the honor and privilege of serving in that position for 4 years in Ohio, and there is no greater honor than to serve as a State Attorney General. If I did anything right during those years, it was to hire the best and the brightest. My Chief of Staff was Kent Marcus, who is now Governor Strickland's Chief Legal Counsel. And Kent and I decided to create a new position in the office of the Ohio Attorney General. We wanted to create a position called State Solicitor. That would be the person who would argue cases on behalf of the people of our state before the highest courts of the land, whether they be the U.S. Supreme Court, the U.S. Court of Appeals, or the state Supreme Court. And I understood that in order to fill that position, it was important to find a superb lawyer, someone of unquestioned integrity. And to be honest, I found that person in our own backyard in Rich Cordray. Rich Cordray served as Ohio's first state solicitor, and I'm pleased that because of his service, subsequent attorneys general, Betty Montgomery and Jim Petro and Mark Dan, all kept that position. Today, it is my honor to be introducing our governor, who will be making a very special announcement about who he and I believe is the right person to be the next Attorney General of the state of Ohio. So now it's my privilege to introduce the Governor of the state of Ohio, Ted Strickland.
Isn't this a pretty day in the great state of Ohio? And what a nice occasion. I'm happy to stand here with Richard and his wonderful wife Peggy and his two just delightful children, Danny and Holly. Many of you are familiar with Rich Cordray and his incredible talents. I want to tell you a little bit about how Rich got his beginning in life. He's the son of social workers. Rich's parents always put themselves in the service of the most vulnerable in our society: young people, the elderly, the mentally retarded and developmentally disabled. In this spirit of service and determination to do whatever he can do toward the public good is a strong trait of Richard Cordray's, and I believe that's because it's in his DNA. It came from his wonderful parents. As Franklin County Treasurer, Richard created the first Save Our Homes Task Force to address the problems of mortgage foreclosure. He carried that work into his efforts as State Treasurer, where nearly 50 additional counties have followed his example. Richard has worked tirelessly for years on ways to curtail this devastating problem of home foreclosures. At the same time that Rich was helping the state conduct the largest tobacco securitization issuance in our nation's history, he was also working quietly behind the scenes to bring financial literacy programs into Ohio's domestic violence shelters, because the victims of domestic violence so often literally must run for their lives and start again with little or nothing. Rich Cordray knows the frustrations and the anxieties of ordinary families who are worried about money, about their homes, about their safety, and about the future of their children. He's a remarkable young person. He is fair, he is kind, and he is a tenacious problem solver. Rich Cordray is a public service servant in the best sense of the word. He will be the kind of Attorney General that Ohioans can be proud of. And I'm proud to present to you my choice to be Ohio's next Attorney General, Rich Cordray.
Thank you. It is an honor to be asked to take on the race for this important office. The Attorney General can play a vital role in moving this state forward and fighting for fair and equal treatment of all citizens. For more than 20 years, ever since graduating from law school, I've been moved by the challenges of public service. Through the many ups and downs, I've always been inspired by the exercise of leadership and the difference it makes for people who just need to have someone on their side. My parents never dreamed of running for office, but they were, as the governor said, public servants in the truest sense, working their entire careers to better the lives of the mentally retarded. Theirs is an example I keep in mind every day. As the next Attorney General, I expect to focus on rebuilding the public trust, fighting crime, and protecting the financial security of Ohio's families. Much of this agenda builds on the work that we are doing in the Treasurer's Office to keep people in their homes, protect them against fraud, and fight for a level playing field for consumers. And much of it will continue to be done in partnership with local officials and community groups, which enables us to do our best work together. My pledge to Ohioans is that I will stand up for them with determination, with respect, and with professionalism. Finally, I look forward to campaigning across Ohio in this historic year. I do not expect to do that alone. Fortunately, I have good friends here who will be accompanying me, and I'm grateful to have their help. When you run for public office, you learn much more about the people you hope to serve, and that makes you a better public official. I'm enthusiastic about the opportunity to do that in 2008. Thank you. This time, I think any of us